Okay, Lucas, imagine this. You land in a new country, you're exhausted, and the airport announcement comes on, and you understand. Maybe 3 words.
Painfully specific. Is this a real memory or a hypothetical?
A little of both, honestly. But that's exactly why we're doing this episode. Today we're taking you from the moment you leave your house for the airport all the way to the moment you land. Get your bags and walk out into a brand new country.
Every phrase, every sign, every awkward interaction with the flight attendant, we've got you covered.
By the end of this one, you'll actually understand what boarding means on that screen. You'll know the difference between a layover and a stopover. And you won't panic when someone asks if you want the window or the aisle.
Which, honestly, is a bigger decision than people admit.
It really is. Let's get into it.
Before we take off, pun fully intended. If you're new here, hit subscribe. We do this every week. Real English, real situations, no boring grammar drills.
And if this is useful, a quick like helps more people find the channel. Okay, now let's actually get you to the airport. So the first English word you need actually comes before you even leave your house, and that's departure.
Departure just means leaving, right? Like, the act of leaving a place to start a trip.
Exactly that. And once you're actually planning the trip, you'll notice flights get split into 2 big categories. A domestic flight stays inside one country.
So flying between 2 cities in the same country, that's domestic.
Right. And then you've got international flights, sometimes called overseas flights, when you're crossing a border.
Now here's something that confused me for years. If there's no direct flight, you end up on what's called a connecting flight, and that involves a stop somewhere in the middle.
And that stop has 2 names people use almost interchangeably, a stopover or a layover.
Is there actually a difference?
Technically, a layover is usually short, under 24 hours, and a stopover can be longer. Sometimes people plan a stopover on purpose to explore a city for a day or 2. But in everyday conversation, most people just say layover for both.
Good to know. And I assume once you've got your flight sorted, you're choosing between first class, business class, or economy class.
Right. Economy being the budget-friendly option most of us are flying.
Most of us, meaning all of us.
And one small tip before you even leave the house, it's smart to call the airline to confirm your flight and check for any delays.
Because nothing ruins a morning like driving to the airport for a flight that's already gone.
Okay, you've made it to the airport. First stop, the check-in desk.
This is where you hand over 2 things, your passport and your ticket.
The ticket is basically proof that you paid for the flight. At the desk, they'll also weigh your bags on a scale, and in exchange, they give you a boarding pass.
The boarding pass is the golden ticket. That's the paper, or the app now usually, that proves you're allowed on that specific flight.
And this is also the moment they'll ask the question that stresses a surprising number of people out.
Window or aisle?
Window seat if you like looking outside and don't mind climbing over someone to use the bathroom. Aisle seat if you value your freedom to get up whenever you want.
I'm an aisle person for life. No contest.
See, this is the kind of thing our listeners have strong opinions about.
So tell us in the comments, window or aisle. We genuinely want to know which side you're on.
I have a feeling this comment section is going to get heated.
Speaking of what you're bringing with you, let's talk bags. Because English has a lot of words for basically the same suitcase.
True. So the general word for all your bags together is baggage, or luggage. Those 2 are basically interchangeable.
And then a suitcase is one specific bag, like an individual piece.
Right. Now the bag you bring onto the plane with you. The one that stays with you the whole flight. That's your carry-on.
And if it's small enough to go under the seat, like a purse or a small backpack, that's often called a personal item.
Good catch. And the bigger bags, the ones you're not allowed to bring on the plane, you check in your luggage. They get a little sticker called a luggage tag, and then they disappear into the belly of the plane.
Which is always a slightly stressful moment, watching your bag vanish behind that curtain.
It's a small act of trust, honestly. All right, now you're somewhere inside this massive building. the terminal, which is basically the main structure where passengers get ready to board or arrive.
And a big terminal can genuinely feel like its own small city. You've got escalators everywhere to move between floors.
You'll also see signs for the parking garage, which is exactly what it sounds like, where you leave your car. In the UK, by the way, people usually call it a car park instead.
Good to know if you're ever comparing notes with someone from London.
Now, at some point, you'll walk past a big screen, the flight information board, and this is where a lot of people freeze up, because there's so much information at once.
Let's break down what those words actually mean, because they matter. Delayed means your flight is running late.
On time means, well, exactly what it says. Everything's running as planned.
Boarding means it's time to actually start getting on the plane.
And canceled means, unfortunately, that flight isn't happening today.
The word every traveler dreads seeing.
Absolutely. Now, before you get to your gate, which is the specific area in the terminal where your plane is parked and where you'll board, you've got 2 more stops. First, security.
This is the security checkpoint, where you and your carry-on go through an X-ray machine. Laptops, anything metal, all of that goes into a little basket on the conveyor belt.
And if you're flying internationally, you'll also go through customs, where officials check that you're not bringing in anything illegal or anything beyond what's considered personal use.
There's actually a great little pair of verbs for this whole process. You line up, meaning you wait in a queue.
And then you go through, meaning you pass the actual check.
So the full sentence might be, we lined up for 20 minutes just to go through security.
Painfully accurate for most major airports. Alright, once you're through security, there's usually a bit of downtime. So let's pause the vocabulary for a second and mention something that might genuinely help you along this whole journey.
So if all these new words are feeling like a lot at once, that's completely normal. And it's exactly why we always mention our digital library.
It's a collection of books, audiobooks, and grammar resources organized by level. So whether you're just starting out or you're already comfortable with English, there's something that actually fits where you are.
Full transparency, the link in the description and pinned in the comments is an affiliate link, so if you use it, you're also supporting the show, which we genuinely appreciate.
And if you've got a trip coming up, grabbing a travel-themed audiobook for the flight is a pretty great way to practice listening while you're literally sitting on the plane we're about to talk about.
Very smooth transition back to the topic.
I try.
Okay, so now you're at the gate, you hear your boarding time announced, and it's finally time to board.
To board just means to get on the plane. And the flip side of that, when you finally land and get off, is to deplane.
Deplane is such a satisfying word. It sounds official.
It really does. Now, once you're settled into your seat, you'll meet the cabin crew, which includes the flight attendants, the people taking care of you throughout the flight.
And they'll walk you through a few instructions you'll hear on basically every flight. First, your carry-on bag goes in the overhead bin. That's the compartment above your seat.
Then you'll hear fasten your seatbelt, which is pretty self-explanatory, and they'll usually ask you to switch your phone to airplane mode.
Which, small tip, doesn't actually mean turn it off completely anymore. On most phones, it just stops the signal so it doesn't interfere with the plane.
Good clarification. And once everyone's settled, you're ready for takeoff. The moment the plane actually leaves the ground.
This next word is one every nervous flyer knows well: turbulence.
Turbulence is that shaking or bumpiness you feel, usually caused by the plane moving through unstable air.
It sounds scarier than it usually is, for the record.
It really is, statistically, incredibly safe, even when it doesn't feel that way in the moment. And then, eventually, comes the word everyone's waiting for, to land, which is when the plane touches down at your destination.
That little bump on the runway might be my favorite sound in the world.
Same. It means you made it. Now, while you're actually up in the air, there's a whole set of phrases worth knowing, because you'll probably want something during the flight.
If you want headphones for the entertainment screen, you can ask a flight attendant, "Can I have a headset, please?"
And if the cabin feels cold, "Could I have a blanket?" is a perfectly normal request.
For drinks, keep it simple and polite. Something like, "Can I have a Coke, please?" works perfectly fine.
Or if you'd rather have water, "Could I have some water, please?" is just as natural.
There's also a tiny bit of small talk that comes up constantly on flights. If someone tells you, "Have a good flight," the easy, natural response is just, "You too."
2 words? That's it. No need to overthink it.
I definitely overthought it the first few times I flew, honestly.
I think most of us did. All right, you've landed, you've deplaned, and now there are just 2 last stops before you're truly free. First, baggage claim.
This is the area with those big rolling belts where you wait, sometimes a little too long, for your suitcase to finally appear.
And if you flew internationally, right after that, you'll go through passport control, where officials check and stamp your passport.
And that's it. You walk out, and you're officially in a brand new place, having survived every single English word this episode threw at you.
Which, by the way, is genuinely a lot of vocabulary for one trip. Nobody expects you to remember all of it on the first listen.
And that's exactly the point we want to leave you with. You're going to mix up window and aisle at some point. You might ask for a blanket and get a weird look, and that's completely fine.
Making mistakes is honestly one of the fastest ways to actually remember these words. The uncomfortable moments are usually the ones that stick.
So if you've got a trip coming up, or even just a flight you remember from years ago, tell us about it in the comments. Any word here surprise you? Any phrase you wish you'd known earlier?
We'd genuinely love to read those. And if this episode helped even a little, hit subscribe, drop a like. It really does help the channel grow.
Next time, we're tackling one of the moments that makes even confident travelers a little nervous, going through immigration, and exactly what to say when an officer starts asking you questions.
It's a good one. We'll see you there.
Safe travels, everyone.